My friends, this Saturday we had a huge live webcast called Dominate the Fretboard with my top guitar tricks. We had over 10,000 folks sign up for this. We gave away over $6,000 worth of goodies, including this beautiful Epiphone Dot. And this 4-hour broadcast that we did, we also gave away a course by the same name, Dominate the Fretboard with my top guitar tricks. This video that you're about to watch is on the CAGED system and some advanced exercises and applications. If you enjoy this video, make sure that you click the very first link below, which will give you access to the entire course and will also give you access to all the offers that we have for you guys. All right, enjoy. Let's take a look at the CAGED system and let's look at an advanced exercise and some other applications without the capo. So I really want you to get this down. So I like to drill these things home because it's very, very important that you understand this if you want to be able to navigate the whole neck, right? So one of the things that I would prescribe to my students is a way to kind of change this up a little bit. So an exercise that would allow them to think about the chords differently. So if you're just doing C, A, G, E, D in those forms, like that's a great place to start, and that's definitely where you would want to start. But after that, we would want to do some things differently, like work our way backwards, right? So this is literally just writing down these concepts and understanding what I'm talking about here. So if we're working your way up all the time, then when you're playing, that's all you're going to be able to do mentally, because that's all you've prepared to do. So you need to change it up. So one way that we want to do that, we want to start at the highest chord, or you could start in the middle, that's fine too, and you want to work your way down. Be able to work your way up, work your way down, be able to do both. Because if you don't, then again, you're going to be stuck doing things one particular way. You don't want to do that. So that's one way you can do it, is working it up, working it down, doing the different keys. If you want to, cycle the circle of fifths or circle of fourths or whatever you want to do, you could do that in any method, or you could go up in half steps. So start in the key of F, and then go to F sharp, go to G, that sort of thing. And another thing that you can do is you can skip chords. So for instance, instead of going C form, A form, go C form, G form, and then go A form, E form, and then go G form, D form. And then, again, if you want to make it more difficult, work it backwards. D form, G form, E form, A form, G form, C form. Then, this way, you're not going to have that one to toggle off of. You're going to know where to jump. Now you're using the bass notes. So if you know this is a C and this is a C, everything else falls into place. 2 chords fall into place here, 1 and 2. 2 chords fall into place here, 3 and 4, and then you've got the movable springboard, which gets you to the 5th form as well. So by mixing and matching those, challenging yourself, look, you want to get to the point where you are messing up, because that means that you need help in that area. So you're not trying to avoid areas where you're messing up and forgetting this. You're trying to find those places. That's the whole point of this. Find those places and then do these different exercises in order to get stronger at this, okay? And one other thing that I wanted to show you in this lesson is I wanted to show you some practical applications without the capo. So let's say we had a song like this, basic chord progression that you've heard a million times in rock and roll. From John Fogerty to the Cars, there's a lot of folks that have used this basic 1-4-5 chord progression. We call it 1-4-5 because it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bass notes and the 1-4-5 chords based off of the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, right? So we got the 1, the 4, and the 5. So this 1, 4, 5 chord progression, we could play as power chords, or extended power chords, or the full chords, right? And then, let's say we were in the studio and we wanted to have another sound. We wanted to have a big stacked sound. Now, if you haven't played in the studio before, this may be mysterious to you. You're like, what are you talking about? Well, when we go into the studio, what we like to do is we like to have lots of different sounds to pull from, lots of different colors to paint with. Because when you do that, you get this massive sound. Okay? If you're just using one guitar tone in one area of the neck, it's just going to sound like that. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe it's a sparse song, but if you want to have it nice and big sounding, that's why we have orchestras. We've got the double basses and we got the piccolos up top and everything in between, and that creates this big lush sound as opposed to just one specific frequency that that an instrument's staying in. We've got many instruments, right? So in the same way, we can mimic this on the guitar, and so we could take a chord progression like this. It's a G, a C and a D power chord, right? But if we wanted to stack that, we could very easily use some open chords. So you can hear where those two would sound great together. So imagine that and this part over the top of that. So we have this muffled or muted section here that I'm doing on the bridge, and then we have full big chords strumming something slightly different, and it creates this very big sound, okay? Let's keep going with it. So we have a G, a C, and a D. So we could take this D form here, and let's see what we could do with it. So we've got a... And I'm just figuring this out in my head. This is all the stuff that you've learned in CAGED, but I'm doing it on the fly. So we have a G chord here, we've got a C chord, and a D chord. So maybe while, and I just figured that out with the bass notes, but you could do it in any method that I've shown you in the last few videos. So there's my G chord, my C chord, and my D chord. Now, why does that help? Well, you can hear that we've got some higher notes now. So that's going to allow some other notes to come in. So with that, I might do something like... yeah, so that would be a good bit to do. So maybe I won't even... Maybe I'll just not even play that bass note there. Usually our bass player is playing the bass note, or the keyboard player. So again, this is where understanding where these chords are at on the neck is what we're looking for. We don't necessarily have to play the entire chord. I don't even want you to think that. Okay, but I want you to know where your hand would go, because then you're going to extrapolate some of those notes out of that chord, and those are going to be the choice notes that you use, right? You know lots of words. You don't use every single word every day, right? Why would you? You use them when it's appropriate. So musically, we want to do the same thing. We want to use parts of chords if that's necessary. So I have these parts of these chords here, but maybe I wouldn't use the whole thing. Maybe I would do something like this. You know? Or I might use the top part of the chord. I might go... Or I might change the motif or the rhythm. You know, or... So we can do anything with these chords. And what I mean by that is we have so many different possibilities. So I'm just trying to crack that that nut in your head, right? They're trying to get you to think outside of the way you normally might think. So, and the way to do that is to challenge yourself. And the more that you're challenged when you're doing this, that's when you're getting to the really good stuff. So if you feel that slow down, don't think you're not doing something right. You're doing everything right. That's new territory, and we're trying to open that up for you, okay? So have fun with this, challenge yourself. Take a song that has a 1-4-5 or a 1-4, or 1 and a 5, 2 chords. It doesn't matter what it is. Just take something with 2 or 3 of those chords, major chords to start until you get to the other sections, right? And think about the different things that you could do, the different ways that you could play that chord with both the right hand and left hand, muting, playing staccato, swinging it, big strums, small strums, sparse notes, all the notes, arpeggios. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do it. Just think like a painter, and you're just coloring and you're having fun here. All right, speaking of having fun, let's keep going.